Welcome, guys, for a moment of sanity. So, we are here to talk about how to fix your lives, right? It's the first time that I start to make this video and etc. Start to think about it. Actually, if you think about the topic, it's quite broad. It's quite ambitious too. Like I believe that no one in YouTube put this kind of how to say um, this kind of topic and etc. Or maybe they do, but it's totally, I would say, like fixing your life in 5 minutes is not really true. But the reason I put this topic is because like I will give you the basics of how to fix your life by yourself, right? Like, and when we talk about life, we have so many how to say topics about it. We have so many problems that our life can have. Our life can be really dysfunction. Maybe some people have problem with addiction. Some people might struggle with their partners, with their relationship, with the relationship with their parents, with the relationship, I don't know, with their profession, and etc. Maybe you struggle because you can't find someone, or you can't find a partner, and etc. Or maybe you struggle because you can't achieve your goals and you're frustrated in life. Or maybe you have a existential crisis, and etc. Maybe even an identity crisis per se. And in life, we have so many problems, and we often try to seek for solutions, but we can't find. Maybe you try. I have so many friends that they went to a psychologist, and the psychologist couldn't fix them. And I'm not talking about people that just went once and try like for 1 month and then go out, because I would say that any psychologist would agree with that. If you just went for a month through therapy, and you complain that we cannot, the therapist cannot fix your problem. I mean, the problem is more you than the therapist, right? But I'm talking about people that try for years therapy with many different psychologists, and it's really often that we see people unhappy with it, at least, right? It's really often that we see that. Uh, it's really often also that even in religion, right? Like I'm Catholic, even in religion, people try to seek for answers and try to seek some people to talk about. And some of the time, or I would say most nowadays, the priest or the people that are in charge, they can answer your questions and etc. Or you see that they really struggle to give you some real counseling per se. So is we don't live in easy times, although it looks like we have an easy life. You get what I mean? Just that our problems are different than before, I would say. But actually, if we think well, like our institutions, like this experience of trying to seek for answers in institutions and being frustrated, I believe that is a common experience now in modernity. And this gives us a feeling that we are just thrown in chaos. And many of you maybe try to seek for answers outside. And I was when I say outside internet, and how can I say? Let me drink some water because you know, I'm a bit sick. But the thing is, like, outside internet or in the real world, I would say, right? And you couldn't find. You try your parents and you can find, and etc. And not just that. When you come to internet, you have a bunch of information, and you don't know from where to start to apply. And many of these tips are, how to say, situational. Many of them are like in general for all human race. Some people are lying, they just want your money, and etc. It's really hard also to see what is true when you don't have any experience with that, and you don't have any experience with self-improvement or in psychology or in philosophy and etc. So it's quite hard for you to know. It has this good sense whether the ideas are applicable to your life or not. I'm saying that from a place of experience, man. Like I try to seek answers and etc. And I try to, how to say, talk with people about this. But how to say, sometimes it looks like the people they're not interested on this kind of stuff. That sometimes looks like people are NPCs. Like you try to talk good stuff to people or ask genuine questions that are bothering you so much, or fundamental questions, like, oh, what is the meaning of my life? Oh, whether life has meaning or not, or You don't need even to go that broad. I believe that every single human asks this kind of thing once in their life. But the thing is like, sometimes you're like, how I achieve my goals and etc. What are my goals? What am I supposed to do? Like this kind of question always pop up to us. Why am I unhappy? Like, or maybe I'm quite successful, but why am I unhappy? And etc. So this kind of question always pop up to us, and often we don't find an answer with other people. And we try to seek in internet, especially my generation. Like my generation, they don't ask more for their parents, let's say, per se, most of the time. I'm not saying I'm proud of that or something like that. I'm just saying a fact. My generation don't ask their parents much anymore, or maybe even the teacher. We go to YouTube, to seek someone to answer our questions. Go straight to a video of a specialist or something. So yeah, we live in this chaos. I'm just describing this chaos. This is the chaos that we live in modernity. This is the chaos that we have in our every day in our life. We have everything that we need. We have a pretty comfortable life, but all these questions that just humans can ask, they are not answered anywhere. And yeah, sometimes not even in religion. That's what I'm saying. That should be the place that you can ask existential questions. So really often we don't know what to do. So what is the fundamental thing that I need for my life? Like, in this first video, I want to give you one basic thing, that doesn't matter what's your problem, and we don't need to enter in a specific about the problem yet, but in general, let's per se, doesn't matter what's your problem. Doesn't matter if you're struggling with depression, anxiety, or something, or with your partner, or or whatever, or in your job. Doesn't matter that. What matters is all these problems, they have something in common. They are problems per se. such a discovery, right? They're all problems. No, like there's one thing that is the basic of every single change that we want to make in our life, and every single change for good that we want to make in our life. First of all, we need to have in mind that we are responsible. We are responsible beings, okay? Before saying that, we are responsible beings. And why we are responsible? Because, we go to school, and nowadays people tell us what's your rights, what you deserve, and all this stuff. But we often don't talk about responsibility. We are responsible beings. Why we are responsible per se? Because in our experience, we have will. We have free will. When I mention the word free will, I'm not saying something absolute. You know what I mean? I'm not saying something absolute, like, oh, I want to do this, so I will do that. You get what I mean? I'm not saying about that when I say free will, okay? People often confuse like free will with omnipotence, and absolute free will with the free will that I'm saying, okay? That's way more organic per se, and it's the one that we can observe, and it's the common human experience that we have. And the thing is, I'm a bit tired, okay? So the thing is, how can we, what is this free will that I'm talking about? What is this free will? So what is the difference between free will and omnipotence? Omnipotence is I could do whatever I want to do. Like if I say I want to fly, I could fly. That's different than free will though, because omnipotence means I can do whatever I want. Free will means like inside of all the possibilities that I have, that is inside my being, is inside the way that I am structured as a human being. Inside of these possibilities, I can choose something. Inside of these two possibilities, I can choose one. Okay? So do you understand the difference? Omnipotence is like whatever I want to do. Like if I'm Daniel, I'm a human being, like I can fly. Human beings cannot fly. I say, I want to fly. This is omnipotence. And free will is different. Free will actually is like inside of your human possibilities. Let's say you being able to choose. And what is the difference between this free will that I'm saying and absolute free will? Because the absolute free will, and it's often what the people are debating nowadays, oh, humans has free will, or are determined to be a certain way, and etc. Basically, I believe that, how to say, all this conversation, I'm sorry to say that, but I want to be honest here, so that's the whole point of the channel. I think it's bullshit. At least for now. Maybe I would change in future, okay? I think it's bullshit. Why? Because, how to say, you deny all the human experience, and not just your human experience, but other people's human experience, and then you come with two concepts that don't exist in reality, and you ask whether they are or not. Let's analyze them. Absolute free will. Do we have absolute free will? No, we don't have absolute free will. We don't have absolute free will. Why we don't have absolute free will? I mean, try to do a diet, man. Try to do a diet, and you see how much you struggle to do it. Like, if you came here to solve your problems, let's say, like, you need to be more patient with your partner. You know? If you came here to solve your problems, right? Like, you need to be more patient with you should try to be patient before. It's quite hard. You got what I mean? It's really quite hard to do, though. It's really quite hard. And because it's hard, we can see that we fail. You know, like, so many times we try to do stuff and we fail. Do we fail because of external things? Yeah, sometimes, yeah, for sure. There are things that are not in our control. But sometimes we fall because, and I use the word fall because it's against our will. Maybe sometimes, like, we are pushing and we are tired. Maybe sometimes, like, you have an inner inclination that is way stronger than your will, let's say. You know what I mean? Like, if you have been all your life, like, watching pornography or something like that, or how to say, you have addiction, and it's that you struggle with that, you know. But the reason you see a problem on it is because it takes out your will. You are not in control of the situation, you know. And the thing about determinism, like, people say about determinism, but I don't see really a reason for saying that we are determined. You got what I mean? Because really often, like, we do things that breaks this kind of mentality, right? There is no absolute determinant. You can be, like, it's against human nature, right? But let me just say an example, right? Like, I'm not saying that I'm a philosopher. I'm just speaking what I know, okay? But for me, it doesn't make sense to be determined. It might be a possibility, but it's not our common experience also. We are not totally determined. The reason for that is, like, every single day you make choices too, you know? You make choices and you wake up in the morning, and, how to say, if you don't do them, you feel bad about them, and etc. Naturally, you know, like, it's not you that you're doing a conscious, how to say, effort to make you feel bad. You feel bad naturally, you know, and etc. So in our common experience, at least, okay, at least that, in our common experience, we are not either we don't have totally a free will, absolute free will, and not even totally determined. You know, in our experience, we try to use our will, you know, to fight for the things that we want to. You know, and many people want something, and human beings want something good, okay? Even the time that we do evil or we do bad is because we see as something good, okay? So, yeah, if you seek and you see all the people outside, they're doing stuff because they think that is good, okay? And I never find something that doesn't follow this pattern. Humans are naturally inclined to find good on stuff, you know? And just the fact that you were watching this video already proves my point, that you're trying to seek something good. I'm not saying that I'm good, but it's definitely you're trying to seek something. And that's the thing, and that's when we come to the basic of everything. It's something that we call lifestyle. You know, because we are responsible beings, because I have responsibility over my life, because I have responsibility over my actions, although sometimes I fall, although sometimes I struggle to do good, although sometimes, you know, I relapse in stuff, I'm responsible for it because it's my life, You know, if you don't take care of your own life, try to not take care about yourself for a week, you know, and see what happens with your house, you know, my house. Me taking care of my houseman already is a mess. Imagine, imagine not taking the responsibility for a week, you know, like I wouldn't even have to work. But the thing is, like, if you don't take the responsibility of your life, you die. Literally, like if you absolutely don't take responsibility, you wouldn't need, and etc. You know. And the thing is, like, we are responsible beings. We are responsible beings. And the thing is, like, oh no, so we are for responsibility. No, no, no. It means that we are called to an adventure because you have the choice to choose what you want. You know, because you have the choice, and now, and any other single animal can do that. You know, we have human beings nowadays choosing to be animals. You know. Like, I don't see any cow trying to be a human being. At least not consciously, you know? So the thing is, like, because of that, because we are responsible, you're called to an adventure. Because an adventure, like, for me, it seems to me that adventure and responsibility doesn't have any difference. That's what Jordan B. Peterson says, and I agree with him. Like, adventure and responsibility doesn't have any difference. You just need to find your adventure. But in order to find an adventure, you need to hold the responsibility of your life. And how I hold the responsibility of my life? I'm so broke. You just told me that modernity is chaos. Like, we live in chaos. Like, at least it's essentially, like, I cannot find the answers. You struggle to find good people that you can share this kind of stuff. The feeling of loneliness, the struggles with my couple. I don't know what to do. Like, how to say, we don't have modules of really good couples really often. We struggle. There's so many different modules, and which is the right one, which is the one that I should follow, which is the greatest one, and etc. And then comes the thing about that we say, once you take the responsibility, and it's not like, oh, I will take and bear the word in my hand. No, you come to something that we call lifestyle, and don't take like the things that people usually say nowadays. It's like, you need to change your lifestyle because, like, your lifestyle is bad. No, when I say lifestyle, I'm being really technical here. Actually, I'm taking a term from, if I'm not wrong, from the psychologist Alfred Adler. So with his psychology of the individual, he said that the lifestyle of a person is where the person directs his life. So maybe today, like, stop bench eating, not treating your wife well, or husband well, whatever, or having a good relationship with your parents and etc. Solving these problems in general. I'm not saying that you need to maintain a relationship with them or something like that. It's something hard. But the first thing before you touch all this stuff is to check whether your lifestyle is the right lifestyle, where you are pointing your life. And because we seek good, what is the hugest good that we can reach? What is the place that we can arrive? What is something that I can achieve? You have so much potential, if you believe me or not, but each human being has so much potential, Like, how can I reach that? Like, the first step is that. Change the direction of your life. And changing the direction of your life can be something challenging for some, but I would say that I was seeing something in one app one of these days, and it was quite good. The quote said, like, in order for you to go from, like, let's say, like, my country is Brazil, right? In order for you to go, I don't know, from Brasilia to São Paulo, the plane is like this. But in order to go to Brasilia to Europe, you just need to change, like 45 degrees, sometimes even 15 degrees, and etc. You need to have the direction of your life straight. You need to have clear what is the most good that I can achieve, and do that and write it down. Write it down, like, what is the most good I can achieve? Which direction I'm pointing my life? Maybe you realize that you're living a hedonistic life. And people think that hedonism is something like, oh, I'm taking heavy stuff, I'm going to parties and blah, blah, blah. Sometimes Sometimes not just it's not that, like just trying to chill and just being chill and not doing anything else, like not doing anything meaningful, can be a form of hedonism too. And I'm saying, when I say hedonism, I'm not talking about the philosophy in some sense, because I know it's more complicated than that. But what I'm talking is like just a life focused on pleasure. You got me? Just a life focused on pleasure. No, it's fine, it's fine. Do you know why you cannot base your life in pleasure? I'm already giving spoilers of the other video, man. Like, what you cannot base your life in pleasure? Because pleasure is a consequence. You cannot cause pleasure by yourself. We often do stuff that we like and we don't feel pleasure. Try to pay attention to it. Like when you eat chocolate, sometimes you feel, oh man, this is so good. You feel so much pleasure, and sometimes you eat it and you're like, yeah. And pleasure did not came, you know? So the thing is, like, trying to change the direction of your life. But in order to change the direction of your life, you need to aim to a greater good, to the thing that you think that's the greatest that you can achieve. You know? The greatest that you can achieve. So how you should do that practically? Sit down one day, take 1 day, or take 2 hours, but 1 day at least. Come on, 1 day. 1 day. Sit down and write down what is the thing that I can achieve, right? Or you can do even another exercise from a Brazilian philosopher, Olavo de Carvalho, that he gave. He calls the necrology, but the thing, I mean, basically the exercise is you describe who you want to become in a third person perspective once you died already. So you died, it's your funeral, and one of your friends are telling another person who Daniel was, who, I don't know, Bob was, who Jasmine was, and etc. You got what I mean? And you do that and you write it down. Quite interesting, because this exercise puts you in front of death, you know, and like, what is the direction that I'm pointing my life? Maybe I'm pointing to, I don't know, like just to have pleasure. Maybe I'm just pointing to have money, and etc. And you will find really interesting, because sometimes like where we are pointing our lives, we feel shame even to speak it out, right? So it's really nice to do this reflection where you are pointing your life. And this change might not come in some practical stuff right now, but at least you change the direction. So thanks for watching. Subscribe on the channel because the platform asks, and thumbs up. And if you don't like, put in your comments. If you like the video, please put on the comments too. Bye. See you guys.